Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we want to take a look at Queen Charge Hybrid again because I'm getting so many questions about iTzu. How exactly is your Queen Charge Hybrid army looking? And even though I'm showing it pretty much every video, here it is once again. I'm using a couple of wall breakers. It's up to you basically in how many walls you want to get through. Then 14 miners and 13 Hawk Riders. But to be honest, there's no right combination of Hawk Riders and miners, to be honest, in my opinion. There's different approaches. I'm liking the loon heavy version. I see a couple of guys are only pushing with, like, for example, only 2 loons. I think 4 loons are, like, at least for me, 4 loons are working pretty decent. And yeah, that's my army. And I think what we should do is get into the first attack and take a look at some bases. So let's take a look at the first base. And this is actually a kind of well-known trophy base, even though this is my version, since I used this base as well. And what I did over there in the core, you can see this wall in between of the town hall and the Inferno Tower. I moved one tile to the town hall. What this does is, if there is something in the core, for example, the queen in the town hall compartment, she cannot reach the enemy or like the defending scatter shot. That's kind of key. So on this one, we had a couple of options. First off, we could have went into the clan castle, but since those bases have kind of often those trash CCs, like 30 archers and 15 goblins, whatever, I'm preferring to not go into them, because what you can do kind of easily on those bases is you can just push the Queen Charge Hybrid into them and just drop a good poison. That's it. So that's exactly what we're trying to do on this base. We're charging in from the 9 o'clock side, and what this normally does is my queen is going to the bottom on her own. This is kind of the key for this to make this a successful attack, because if she's going to the top, this is not going as planned most of the time. So what we're doing over here, we're sending our queen. Queen is going the right way, so everything is looking perfect. The next thing is we're just adding everything together, basically a huge meatball. And then for the core, for the town hall, we will send in the blimp in a second. So starting off with the king, then everything in with the miners. We do not need another rage for our queen right now. And Hawk Riders in, Royal Champion, everything in. Let's get the party started. And now, like I said, there is this really weird CC coming out, which means a lot of goblins, a lot of archers, a lot of everything. And now what we're doing next, we're sending them in, kind of fighting everything basically. And as soon as our clan cast, or like as soon as our blimp is getting into the danger zone, we're using the warden ability to make sure that the blimp is getting to the town hall for sure. We still have the rage spell left, which is normally not the case, kinda. So we're using the rage in the core just to speed things up, make sure that everything is getting through the core kinda quickly, and the Yetis are getting like a little bit beefed up, especially getting rid of the enemy eagle. Otherwise nothing was shooting the eagle, so that I had to do that basically. So meanwhile, the Royal Champion is trying to help in the core with taking out some more buildings, but the main thing of this army is going to be the queen in combination with the miners, finishing up everything, hopefully, if we can make this work. The spring traps are placed really well on this base, kind of annoying for me, so we have to use somewhere our troops. The loon was a bit early maybe, because the king could have tanked for the loon. Now the wall break is just to make sure that the king can once again re-enter with the core, help the queen maybe a little bit somewhere, but now slowly but surely the miners are dying out. So this is not looking as good anymore as it was like a few seconds ago. So we have to make sure that this queen is finishing the job. So let's see what she's doing. She's going around the wall, triggering a giant bomb. Because I'm kind of afraid of getting into more traps, I'm using the queen ability maybe a little bit too early, but now they are going for the non-max wall, which is nice. Queen is going in, everything is looking good. She's shooting. Queen, shoot! What was that? That nearly cost me the triple. Why did my queen stop shooting? What in the world happened over there? Holy Jesus. Okay. Calm down again. Calm down again. And let's get into the next attack. And this one is one of those teaser bases. I mean, all of you guys probably saw those bases out there. And actually, there are different style of bases out there about this base. I think actually 1 million different versions of this base. So the unique thing about this base is kind of this L-shaped compartment next to the town hall on the right and on the left side with the Inferno Towers. And what I like to do is I try to charge in those. What exactly does this mean? I try to first obviously take out the air defense, otherwise I would lose all of my healers, and if it's possible, the scatter shot in combination with the Expo. Those are the main targets for this Yeti blimp, and obviously getting the clan caster out early if that's possible as well. That's always nice. Then the Berry Dragon is helping to funnel, healers in behind, Queen is placed, everything is looking good so far, so everything should be alright. So, Queen is going for the Lava Hound. We have to deploy, or like we have to wait for the poison because of the enemy witch. Any witch died in the 1 versus 1 against my Berry Dragon, so I can use the poison finally. Even though it was already kind of late, but I had to wait basically, because otherwise the witch would have cost me 10 million years of time. So yeah, now wizard at the bottom. I have to rage because there's a lot of damage with the ground expo over there. Another Kokoloon because there tend to be a lot of black mines, and then the rest of the wall breakers in. Just make sure that the queen is going in. One final wizard to keep my queen close to the wall, to the core, to make sure that the queen is staying inside, because if she's wrapping around, this would be bad for us. So, next thing what we're going to do is we're freezing the enemy single inferno tower, then raging, kind of aggressive. What exactly does this mean, aggressive rage? Aggressive rage means you're dropping the rage, and at that point, the healers are not in the rage, which means the healing of the healers are basically the same. You want to have the queen walking into the rage, which means like later on you have the healers on your queen in the rage. That's kind of the goal on those aggressive place rage spells. Now everything is getting sent in, the hybrid is coming in, queen at the top, we need to use her ability soon. First heal is getting placed, and now the queen should go. The queen is shooting actually the wrong wall. Normally she's going for the outside wall to reach the single inferno tower, but now she's somehow going for the inside. Warden ability to make sure that the enemy queen is not doing too much damage. Well, I cannot really save my queen at this point. That's kind of annoying. Normally she's going for a different wall. That sucks, because now we have a big problem. We have only 50 seconds left. So this is getting close on time. We have one archer on the right side. We have a minion left to place as well. Oh boy, 40 seconds. And they're so slow. Those troops are so slow. Damn it. Healers are doing a great job at keeping the troops alive. That's nice, but everything else is not looking as nice. Now triggering a couple of more traps on the outside. People tend to like have giant bombs around bomb towers, just to have like this extra burst damage kind of against all of those hybrid attacks. But yeah, I think this is gonna be a time fill in the end. That's kind of unfortunate. It would have been a triple power-wise, but time-wise, that's not gonna happen. That said, either way, that was a pretty decent attack. With one thing which went different, that's the kinda annoying thing, which was the queen. Normally she's going to the top, then you can freeze the enemy king with the inferno tower together, and then everything which was left staying would have been already cleared out of the queen. That's unfortunate, but 96% isn't too bad, right? Like, this is kind of the key to Legend League. If you're having, obviously, a couple of triples every day, like 3 triples, 4 triples maybe, or like even if you have like only 1 or 2, if the other attacks are around 90% every single time, you have 250, 260 trophies on average on offense. So that should be alright. So let's get into the next attack. And this is actually one of my old bases which I posted on YouTube, but he just like switched up some traps, which I like. So this is kind of nice, seeing people try new stuff with bases which already exist. This is like the first step into base building, trying to copy bases and then give them their, like your own tweak kinda. So that's kind of cool to see that this guy tried it and tried to make the base different. So on this one, I'm always talking about how to approach a base, and never take the best entry, try to take the second best entry. With saying that, what I mean is people try to bait the best entry. Like when you're taking a look at the base and there's like, I don't know what, like a walkable inferno tower or stuff like that. People tend to see that and just try to have a bait around that, right? So for example, if there's a reachable town hall or stuff like that, and you try to go for it and you're running into a trap, that's not too good. So sometimes you should try to go for the second best. For example, on this one, on the right side, you had the king of next to the inferno tower. On the left side, you had the royal champ next to the inferno tower. The best target is obviously the king, because he cannot attack the blimp. So the blimp can get further into the base, which means more damage on the more important buildings with the death damage kinda. So this is why I went for the left side, because there was the royal champ, which means, okay, obviously my blimp wouldn't make it too far into the inside of the base, but what it should do is there shouldn't be too many traps, right? So this is how I approach normally a base, and this is how we try to do it right now. We use the Last Rage to keep our queen alive against the expos. We probably have to freeze the right expos really soon because there's just too much damage. King ability as well. And yeah, we delayed the Hawk Riders. That's another key thing. If there are a lot of storages on the outside, delay your Hawk Riders. Otherwise, they will like push ahead and will die alone, because you have to decide whether to use the spells, like the heal spell, for example, for the Hawks or for the Miners. But if you delay the Hawk Riders sometimes a little bit, they should be still grouped up. So that's kind of key as well for the hybrid attacks. And now everything's looking good again. We have still one freeze left. We're trying to freeze the king and the scatter shot, which isn't working perfectly. So we're just hitting the scatter shot at this point, which isn't too bad either. All of the miners are getting into the heal spell. One build out on the right side, one archer for that, with our Royal Champ still alive. Have to use her ability because she's getting targeted by the single Inferno Tower. But this still is looking good, right? Queen ability still left up. We have a couple of wall breakers to make sure that she can reach the Inferno Tower. And yeah, this should be another triple for us. So good day for us in the end with all of the legend attacks. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. It was a bit more like trying to explain on how I approach bases. With, like I said, trying to go for the second best entry and stuff like that. So I hope you guys liked today's video, especially the first one. The first attack was crazy close. Like with the screen, did you guys saw everything like that already? Like somewhere, at least for me, I never saw the queen stop shooting. Like, why would she do that? There was like a huge delay in between of the last shot of the queen, which might have cost me the triple. So that was unfortunate, but either way, guys, thank you so much, and hopefully see you guys back tomorrow for another video. Until then, stay safe, guys, and see ya. Bye bye.